Governor Rick Scott calling on the federal government to act as he pushes for support of his lawsuit against the Obama administration. Now, the suit accusing federal officials of trying to force Florida to expand Obamacare. He joins us. Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
All right. So as I understand it, you didn't take the Medicaid expansion.
Nope.
And instead that you had another method to try to pay for the medical care of the poor, which was low-income pool.
There's an existing program that the federal government started in 2006 with Florida, all right, that took care of low-income families. They're saying, one, they're going to walk away from that, but they'll talk to us about it if we'll expand Obamacare. First off, that's a clear violation of what they said in NFIB versus Sebelius. So unfortunately, I've sued them with we have a wonderful Attorney General, Pam Bondi. We've asked for last Thursday for injunctive relief because they can't do this. They shouldn't walk away from poor, low-income families. Totally separate group of people than any expansion of Obamacare. All
right, explain to me that you were opposed to Medicaid expansion when Obamacare was first passed, and then about 2 years ago, you're quoted in the paper saying that you changed your mind. I think it was upon the death of your mother that you all of a sudden thought that maybe you should have a Medicaid expansion. Now you're opposed to it.
All right.
Okay.
In 2011, I walked into this job with $4 billion budget deficit. We had a Medicaid program growing 3.5 times our general revenue. We did historic Medicaid reform, got it approved by the federal government in 2013. I said at the time, I will not stand in the way of the federal government if they want to take care of the low-income families. I said the same thing about high-speed rail. If the federal government wants to run a program in my state, have at it. But don't expect me to tax my citizens. And I still stand by that. I'm going to do the right things to drive health care costs down, make sure our families can get the health care they deserve at a price they can afford. But what's unfair is the federal government is saying we're going to walk away from this group of low-income families unless you expand this other group.
And your opposition to the expansion of the Medicaid is because the federal government pays for it for a certain period of time, but then the burden, after a number of years, the burden is transferred to the states.
Greta, it's $5 billion over 10 years to our state.
All right. You met with Secretary Burwell, HHS,
right.
And you told her this, I assume.
Absolutely.
And she said what?
Well, basically, here's what I said. What you're doing is you've ruined my entire budget. I went through my session. I don't have a budget. I have to have a budget by the end of June through the House and Senate. We have a fight between the House and Senate on what to do. You have sat there and not done anything, so your decision to not continue this program for poor families is a no. And you have to understand that. And you can't, and I said, again, you cannot be coercing the state to expand Obamacare. All
right, so you're not going to expand Obamacare, Medicaid expansion, and she's not going to pay into this low-income pool. And you've got a budget due by the end of June.
Right.
Okay, so this is a perfect storm in a very bad way. So what's going to happen?
Well, June 1st, we'll have a special session. What I believe is going to happen is this. We'll just have a continuation budget, which will mean we'll have about an $8 billion surplus. We've gone from a $4 billion deficit my first year to a $1.8 billion surplus. We'll just do what we've done this last year. We won't put more money into schools, which I wanted to do. We won't cut taxes, which I wanted to do. We'll just leave the money there and deal with it our next session, which starts in January.
Governor, nice to see you.
Nice seeing you.